Stanbic Cash Trust or the Stanbic Income Fund and experience diversified and flexible investment solutions. Managed by your investment specialists. Stanbic Investment Management Services is licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and registered with the National Pensions Regulatory Authority. Stanbic Investment Management Services. Stanbic Bank. It can be.
I have seen it all. Disloyal men, disloyal companies, disloyal institutions, you can name it. But I have found a loyal partner now. Stanbic Investment Management Services. I trust him so much, and I am investing 10 years of my Tier 3 contributions with SIMS. Losing money is painful. Invest wisely. Invest with Stanbic Investment Management Services today.
Try SIMS today with your Tier 3 funds and you will not regret your decision. Stanbic Investment Management Services. Call SIMS on 18080 MTN toll-free, 0800 10009 Vodafone toll-free or 0302 815 789. Stanbic Investment Management Services, your investment specialist.
Chairman, in fact, I actually came to find out about my investment. Yes, my investment.
Your investment.
Yeah, my investment.
Sir, considering the micro-inflationary dynamics of the systematic advanced calculated forms, your investment is perpetual towards ratification.
Meaning?
In simple terms, Sikanashi.
Misikanashi.
Don't shout. Swallow it. You care for some coffee?
Make the right choice. Invest with SIMS Stanbic Investment Management Services for capital preservation and competitive returns. Try SIMS today and you will not regret your decision. Stanbic Investment Management Services, your investment specialist. Smart, innovative, and meaningful solutions. SIMS, Stanbic Investment Management Services, your investment specialist.
I found a new job and it's doing very well. And all I'm doing is saving to build a house.
You don't save to build a house. You invest to build a house. That is why I want to take you to my financial advisors. They are thorough.
From
to the 10th Annual General Meeting of Stanbic Cash Trust, which I now declare open. I now call upon the Company Secretary, Mrs. A.C. Kurama Amwa, to read the notice of the meeting.
Notice of Virtual Annual General Meeting of Stanbic Cash Trust. Notice is hereby given that the 10th Annual General Meeting of the unit holders of Stanbic Cash Trust, the Fund, will be held virtually on Wednesday, 2nd August 2023 at 10 a.m. and shall be streamed live to all unit holders from Stanbic Heights, Plot 215, South Liberation Link, Airport City, Accra, for the transaction of the following business. Agenda: 1. To receive the report of the manager of the fund for the year ended December 31, 2022. 2. To consider the trustees' report and the report of auditors for the year ended December 31, 2022. 3. To receive and adopt the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31, 2022. And 4. To authorize the manager to fix the remuneration of the auditors. Dated July 11, 2023. By order of the manager, Stanbic Investment Management Services Limited, on behalf of the trustee, Universal Merchant Bank Limited. Note: 1. Attendance and participation by all unit holders and or their proxies in this year's AGM of the fund shall be strictly virtual, that is, by online participation. 2. A unit holder entitled to attend and vote at the AGM may appoint a proxy to attend via online participation and vote on his or her behalf. Such a proxy need not be a unit holder of the fund. 3, the appointment of a proxy will not prevent a unit holder from subsequently attending and voting at the meeting via online participation. And where a unit holder attends the meeting via the online portal, the proxy appointment shall be deemed to be revoked. 4, a copy of the form of proxy can be downloaded from www.simscisagm.com and may be filled and sent via email to trust@umbcapital.com or deposited at the registered office of the trustee of the fund, Universal Merchant Bank Limited, Snit Emporium, Liberation Road, Accra, no later than 10 a.m. on Friday, July 28, 2023. 5, accessing and voting at the virtual AGM. A unique token number will be sent to unit holders by email and/or SMS from July 17, 2023 to give them access to the meeting. Unit holders who do not receive this token can contact the UMB on trust@umbcapital.com or call 0244 988 369 or 0555 256 560 anytime after July 18, 2023, but before the date of the AGM to be sent the unique token. To gain access to the virtual AGM, unit holders must visit www.simscisagm.com and input their unique token number on Wednesday, 2nd August 2023. For unit holders who do not submit proxy forms to the trustee of the fund prior to the meeting, they may vote electronically during the virtual AGM, again using their unique token number. Further assistance on accessing the meeting and voting electronically can be found on www.simscisagm.com. For further information, please contact the trustee, Universal Merchant Bank Limited, Snit Emporium, Liberation Road, Accra, on 0244 988 369 or 0555 256 560 or send an email to trust@umbcapital.com. Thank you.
Thank you, AC. The first item on the agenda is to receive the report of the manager of the fund for the year ended December 31st, 2022. I call upon Ms. Brenda Kisi to read the report of the manager to unit holders.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and a very good morning to us all. Report of the fund manager to the unit holders of Stanbic Cash Trust. You are welcome to the 2022 Annual General Meeting of the Stanbic Cash Trust, SCT, or the fund. The Stanbic Cash Trust for the year under review returned 19.6% with assets under management of about 423.8 million Ghana cedis. On the economic outturn, the global economy worsened in 2022, plagued by a lingering Russian-Ukraine conflict, elevated inflation, supply chain tensions, and a severe energy crisis. A sharp rise in energy and food prices sparked a cost of living crisis in several countries, waning demand for household and businesses. China's economic activity stalled as prolonged COVID-19 lockdown took a toll on the supply chain and global growth. Most central banks undertook rapid policy hikes to rein in inflation. A sharp rise in the United States dollar fueled sudden portfolio flight from emerging and developed markets, which tanked currencies and increased imported inflation globally. Financial markets panicked over the global economic unrest, with fixed income and equity assets witnessing deep losses. Ghana saw a series of shocks, including tighter global financial conditions and a spillover of global inflation, amid heavy indebtedness, which pushed the economy into crisis. Inflation rose sharply to end the year at 54.1%, while the Bank of Ghana tightened the monetary policy rate cumulatively by 12.5% to 29.5% to quell inflation. The country lost access to international markets, precipitating several credit downgrades, finally to junk status by S&P, Moody's, and Fitch Solutions. The weak investor sentiment triggered capital flights, draining Ghana's forex reserves to 2.9 months cover. The cedi fell drastically through the year, underscored by persistent demand from market players and speculative activities amid a scarcity of forex inflows. However, news of Ghana's conclusion of a staff-level agreement with the International Monetary Fund, IMF, temporarily revived confidence in the cedi, receding end-year depreciation to 29.97% from 54.2% in November. Fiscal position deteriorated due to persistent revenue shortfalls and an excessive external debt that triggered the risk of a potential sovereign default. Market confidence fell precipitously as households and businesses struggled with challenging economic conditions. Ghana's debt distress culminated in the launching of a debt exchange program for domestic debt holders, while freezing interest payments on foreign debt to create fiscal space to successfully receive a $3 billion facility from the IMF. A domestic debt exchange program valued at 132.4 billion Ghana cedis was launched in December to restore debt and financial sustainability for all domestic bonds, ESLA PLC, and Dachi Trust PLC. The government has also initiated restructuring engagement with foreign debt holders. Ghana's policy framework under IMF leadership should restore fiscal credibility and revive market confidence in the medium term. The Ghanaian stock market trended downwards, undermined by negative investor sentiment due to a deteriorated economic environment. The Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index, which is the GSECI, declined by 12.38% year-on-year to 2,443.91 points, while the Financial Stock Index, the FSI, lost 4.6% to 2,052.59 points. However, market capitalization increased by 0.02% year-on-year to 64.51 billion Ghana cedis, underpinned by the listing of about 377 million shares of Asante Gold Corporation PLC. Market activity was vibrant as volume traded surged by 174.41% year-on-year to 1.34 billion shares, valued at 1.64 billion Ghana cedis, which translates to about 207.5%. Trade in MTN Ghana and New Gold dominated market activity. Increased government borrowing and a hawkish monetary stance to curb inflation pushed up short-term yields as investors sought to actual adjusted returns amid economic uncertainty. The 91-day and the 182-day Treasury bill rates ended the year at 35.36 and 35.98 from year open yields to 12.5% and 13.2% respectively. Additionally, the rate of the 364-day instrument ended at 35.89%. The sharp increase in short-term yields exerted downward pressure on bond prices, resulting in bond portfolio losses. Speculation of a possible debt restructuring and the subsequent launch of a domestic debt exchange program waned investor confidence in the last quarter. Collective investment schemes witnessed negative net cash flows due to increased outflows by investors amid low inflows. A sharp rise in market yields caused both portfolios to record losses as they sold bonds at steep discounts to make liquidity available to clients. A valuation methodology amendment to mark-to-market valuation of all collective investment schemes caused investor panic, resulting in heightened redemption requests. We'll move on to the investment performance. Assets under management at the end of 2022 were 423.8 million Ghana cedis. Earnings drove the fund's growth at 51.9% and net cash flows of 48.1%. The fund ended 2022 with about 92% of AUM in government and quasi-government securities and 1.6% of assets in money market instruments. The allocation held in cash and near cash for liquidity purposes made up 6.8% of AUM. Below is the graphical representation of the portfolio mix as read earlier. On returns, the fund's 2022 return was 19.6%, lagging the benchmark return of 25.7%. Huge withdrawals on the fund, the turbulence in capital markets, and the local economic crisis accounted for the fund underperforming its benchmark in 2022. Net investment income decreased to 74.9 million Ghana cedis in 2022 from a 90.2 million Ghana cedis in 2021. Summary of activities. In 2022, the fund manager, with approval from the fund trustee and after notifying the Securities and Exchange Commission, made amendment to the fund's scheme particulars to bolster the fund's return in interest of unit holders. The changes were made in line with Clause 13B(v) and Appendix B of the fund's trust deed. A. Removal of the 13-month investment restriction whilst maintaining the broad investment objective of the fund. B. Revision of the fund management fee downwards from 2.5% to 2.25% of assets under management. Additionally, in response to the SEC directive dated October 20th, 2022, the manager adopted a mark-to-market valuation methodology for the fund. To mitigate the impact of this valuation methodology on investors, a subclass, which is the Stanbic Cash Trust AMC, was introduced after a no objection was received from SEC in December 2022 to ring-fence new fund subscriptions from market volatility. The mandate of Stanbic Cash Trust, AMC, is to invest all new deposits in money market securities. The fund manager will work towards transitioning the fund into the Stanbic Cash Trust, AMC, when there is increased activity on the market, or there is enough liquidity to exit the new bonds at a fair price. The trust deed has been updated to reflect all the changes initiated within the year. Investors can access a copy of the amendments from the manager's website, www.sims.com.gh. Now on the domestic debt exchange program and its impact on the fund. The government of Ghana launched the domestic debt exchange program in December 2022 as part of the conditions required to receive support from the IMF. It invited eligible bondholders, that is, holders of ESLA, Dachi, and Government of Ghana bonds, to exchange their bonds for a set of new bonds with varied terms. Collective investment schemes, which form part of Category A bondholders, were offered bonds with maturity dates in 2027 and 2028 at a coupon rate of 10%. Relief measures offered to eligible bondholders included potential access to a liquidity fund, in consultation with the trustee. The fund participated in the program to gain access to the Ghana Financial Stability Fund, GFSF, when fully established, and access to liquidity on the secondary market. The DDEP was concluded on February 21, 2023, and SCT received a total of about 319.9 million Ghana cedis in new bonds at a coupon rate of 10%. SCT's participation in the DDEP has limited the fund's cash flow in absence of an active secondary market and negatively impacted the ability to meet unit holders' liquidity needs in a timely manner. The operationalization of the GFSF and reopening of the secondary market for new bonds is expected to improve the fund's liquidity. The fund's performance on a forward-looking basis is also likely to decline on the back of the coupon rate on the new bonds compared to pre-DDEP coupons. Interest rates are, however, expected to trend downwards as the economy recovers to make the fund's returns competitive. Now on the outlook and strategy. The World Bank predicts another challenging year, scaling back global growth estimate to 1.7%, weakened by the US, Europe, and China's slowdown. Global trade tensions should improve as China continues to zero COVID policies in the face of a massive infection wave. Inflation could remain a major concern for makers in the first half of 2023, while policymakers find a balance between price stability and a fragile economic recovery. Looking ahead, IMF predicts a rocky recovery as the emerging risk in the financial sector calls for prudent policy response despite lingering inflation. Higher crude oil prices following the OPEC plus 1 million daily volume cuts and a rebound in China demand could elevate inflation risk. A sustained recovery in China's economy should unwind trade positions and provide a tailwind for global growth. Ghana's economy remained perilous, while macroeconomic imbalances, limited fiscal space, tighter financial conditions, and a fragile market sentiment. The approval of the Ghana's $3 billion facility from the IMF and the subsequent release of the first tranche of $600 million is expected to positively impact the country's economic recovery. This approval is anticipated to unlock additional concessional funding from international donors, circa $6 billion, supporting Ghana's ongoing efforts. The partnership with IMF is poised to play a crucial role in strengthening Ghana's financial and fiscal management, which would ultimately help revive market confidence in the medium term. However, it is essential to remain mindful of potential headwinds that may arise. The recent global banking crisis has introduced caution in developed markets, which could impact the portfolio The recent banking crisis has introduced caution in developed markets, which could impact portfolio inflows to Ghana and slow down activity on the secondary markets, negatively impacting liquidity. Additionally, inflationary pressures and the high cost of funds pose ongoing concerns that could further erode real incomes for businesses and individuals. In summary, while the approval of Ghana's IMF facility brings optimism and potential benefits, navigating the hurdles that may arise from global market dynamics is essential. Ghana's continued focus on implementing sound economic policies, managing risk effectively, and addressing inflationary pressures will be crucial in ensuring sustained progress and economic stability in the future. The strategy for SET in 2023 will be to build up liquidity by selling the new bonds and assessing the Ghana Financial Stability Fund as it becomes available. The Stanbic Cash Trust AMC will ring-fence all new deposits and continue to invest in money market securities, prioritizing liquidity and enhancing client experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. The next item on the agenda is to consider the trustees' report. I now call upon Mr. Eric Ajayabwa to read the trustees' report for the year ended December 2022.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. Report of the trustee to the unit holders of Stanbic Cash Trust. In response to the changes in the investment environment, and in line with the Appendix A and Clause 13B, V of the trust deed, and no objection by the Securities and Exchange Commission, amendments were made to the trust deed in 2022 as follows: for the fund to remain competitive by maximizing returns on unit holders' investment and seeking capital appreciation. A. Clause 3. Investment objective was amended with effect from February 2022, and it is now the principal objective of the trust to optimize investors' interest income in the short term to medium term and ensure liquidity and capital preservation under the normal market conditions. B. Clause 16. Issuance of unit was amended with effect from December 2022 by the inclusion of subclause H as follows. The fund may create a subclass where all new investment deposits would be invested in money market securities. C. Clause 19. Constituent of property was amended with effect from February 2022, and it is now, under the normal market conditions, substantially all but not less than 100% of the trust asset will be invested as follows. A minimum of 80% of government and quasi-government fixed deposit securities and maximum of 20% of non-government and quasi-government fixed interest securities. D. Appendix A. Statement of Investment Policy was amended with effect from February 2022, and it is now: the Stanbic Cash Trust will invest in instruments available on the Ghanaian financial market. Under normal market conditions, at least 100% of the fund's total assets will be invested in a fixed income market instrument. A minimum of 80% of the fund's assets under management will be invested in government and quasi-government fixed interest securities. A minimum of 20% of the assets under management will be invested in non-government and non-quasi-government fixed interest securities. The manager may employ short-term tactical deviations from the policy asset mix of up to 10% of the asset under management. In our opinion, according to the information made available to us and the explanation provided, we confirm that in all material respects, the fund manager has managed the scheme during the year covered by the financial statement in accordance with the trust deed dated 16th day of November 2011, as amended, and all regulations for the time being in force under the unit trust and the mutual fund regulations 201, LI 1695, signed on behalf of the trustee, Universal Merchant Bank. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Ajay Yabua. I will now ask the auditor, Baker, Tile-Anda and Anda, to read their report. They are represented by Mr. Mark Justus, Isaac Brenya.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm representing the engagement partner on the assignment, Mr. Samuel Abiao. I present the independent auditor's report to the unit holders of Stanbic Cash Trust. Report on the audit of the financial statement. The opinion. We have audited the financial statement of Stanbic Cash Trust, which comprise the statement of assets and liabilities as at 31 December 2022, income and distribution account, portfolio statement, and capital account for the year ended, and note to the financial statement, which includes a summary of significant accounting policies and explanatory notes as set out on page 25 to 37 of our financial statement. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statement presents fairly, in all material respect, the financial position of the fund as at 31 December 2022, and its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended, in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standards and in the manner required by the Securities Industry Act 2016 at 929, the Unit Trust and Mutual Fund Regulation 2001, LI 1695, and the Trust Deeds dated 2011 November 6th. The basis for our opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with International Standards on Auditing, ICES, Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibility to the audit of the financial statement sections of our report. We are independent of the fund in accordance with the International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, including International Independency Standards, the code issued by the International Ethics Standard Board for Accountants, IESBA, and we have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with the code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. On key audit matters, these are matters described and in our professional judgment were of most significance in our audit of the financial statement of the current period. They are matters to be addressed in the context of our audit of the financial statement as a whole and informing our opinion thereon. We do not provide a separate opinion on those matters. There are no material key audit matters to report. On other information, the manager is responsible for the other information. The other information comprises the information included in the annual report, but does not include the financial statement and our report thereon. Our opinion on the financial statement does not cover the other information, and we do not express any form of assurance conclusions thereon. In connection with our audit of the financial statement, our responsibility is to read the other information, and in doing so, consider whether the other information is materially inconsistent with the financial statement, or our knowledge obtained in the audit or otherwise appears to be materially misstated. If based on the work that we have performed, we conclude that there is a material misstatement of this other information, then we are required to report that fact. We have nothing to report in this regard. Mr. Chairman, please permit me to skip the responsibilities of the managers of the financial statement, which were previously read, and the auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statement, which has to do more with our procedures per standard. If I'm permitted, then I can move on to the other reports. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Please, I present the report on other legal and regulatory requirements. Compliance with the requirement of Part 9 of the Schedule 8 of the Unit Trust and Mutual Fund Regulation 2001, LI 1695, we confirm that we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of the audit. In our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the fund, so far as appears from the examination of those books. The fund financial statements are in agreement with the books of account. In our opinion, the fund generally complied with the relevant provisions of the Securities Industries Act 2016 at 929. The engagement partner on the audit resulting in this independent auditor's report is Samuel Abiao with IC Aging Processing Certificate number 1454, signed Bikatili Anna Enanda on 28 April 2023. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Brenya. I now call on Ms. Paulina Okai to present the highlights of the audited financial statement for the year ended December 31st, 2022.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I present the financial highlights for the Stanbic Cash Trust for the year ended 2022. Fund returns outperformed benchmark rates up until the year 2022. The low performance for the year resulted from significant withdrawals in the latter part of the year as unit holders reacted to the economic turbulence. However, the fund's average annual growth rate, the CAGR, over the past 5 years was 16.3%. This was slightly above the benchmark rate of 16.2%. Fund prices of 5.03 Ghana cedis in 2021 increased to 5.74 Ghana cedis in 2022, a 14% increase year on year. Referencing page 20 of the audited financials, it can be noted that net assets declined by 35% from 644 million in 2021 to 420 million in 2022. There has been strong momentum in the growth of net assets until 2022, when customer agitation over the mark-to-market implementation and the turbulence of the market, as earlier explained by the fund manager, resulted in significant withdrawals. This, coupled with the mark-to-market adjustments loss on the fund, accounts for the lower net assets for the year, and this can be seen on the bar chart at the bottom of the page being shown. Since the inception of the fund, and for the first time in 10 years of the fund's existence, redemptions exceeded issuance. Number of units issued decreased by 35%, from 175 in 2021 to 113 in 2022. The units redeemed, on the other hand, increased by 9%, from 153 in 2021 to 167. The value of units issued decreased by 26%, from 818 million in prior year to 604 million in 2022. However, the value of units redeemed in 2022 was 24% higher than prior year. Prior year redemption was 728 million, whereas 2022 ended with redemption of 903 million. This year was an outlier, as the significant uptick in redemption was occasioned by the spike in customer withdrawals. Referring to page 22 of the audited financials for the income performance, it can be noted that the total income declined from 108 million in 2021 to 91 million in 2022, a 16% decline year on year. The drop was due to mark-to-market loss of 20.8 million on the Government of Ghana bonds that was held by the fund. Fund expenses also dropped by 10% to 16 million, as the management fee reduced on the back of a 25 basis point reduction in fees, as well as the increased withdrawals. The above resulted in a 17% decrease in net investment income, from prior year of 90.3 million to 75 million in 2022. These are the highlights for the cash trust for 2022. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Paulina. The next item on the agenda is the consideration of the fund manager's report for adoption. I now call on Mrs. A.C. Gramamwa to take us through the comments and voting processes on the motions.
Steps to comment or ask questions. To second the motion, send a comment or question. Kindly locate the chat box at the right or bottom side of your screen. Type and submit your comments and questions. How to cast your votes. We have provided 2 options to enable you partake in the voting exercise in real time. To vote via the online platform, kindly locate the vote box on the bottom of your broadcast screen and follow these steps. Enter the unique token number used to join the meeting. Click Cast Your Vote. Once you have done this, you will see a list of resolutions to be voted for. Follow the voting process by clicking the plus sign, then select your voting option. To vote via short code, dial *899*3# on your phone. Enter the unique code used in joining the meeting. Once you have done this, you can now select your vote option and send. You cannot vote once the chairman closes the vote. Thank you.
Thank you, AC. I hereby move that the fund manager's report for the year ended December 31st, 2022, and submitted to the meeting be and is hereby received and adopted. Would someone please second this motion? To second this motion, kindly go to the chat box, type your full name, and then type seconded.
Mr. Chairman, Dasa Noela Preciosa has seconded.
Motion seconded. Are there any questions before the motion is put to the meeting?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. We have a question from Eric Nanakweku Oti Echampong. Eric asks, can you clarify this animal called mark to market? Clarity on MTM.
I think the fund manager would explain this.
The Chair. So mark-to-market valuation is essentially reflecting the prices of bond on the market to your portfolio. Before the adoption of the mark-to-market valuation, we're using the amortized cost. As has been read earlier, we saw under the year under review how short-term yields depressed bond prices, creating a lot of portfolio losses. So because bond prices are not doing well, if you reflect those prices on your portfolio, we see a reduction in your asset under management, which also impacts your returns. That is why anytime you look at the value of your portfolio at exit, you see that the statement, the amount on the statement is different from what you are shown if the mark-to-market value is displayed for your confirmation. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Are there any further questions?
Chairman, there are no further questions.
I now open the online platform for voting on the motion to adopt the fund manager's report for the year ended 2022.
Mr. Chairman, to receive the report of the manager of the fund for the year ended December 31st, 2022, 45 people voted for the motion, 2 people voted against the motion, and 0 persons abstained from the motion.
QAC. I declare that the motion has been duly carried. I hereby move that the trustees' report for the year ended 2022 and submitted to the meeting be and is hereby received and adopted. Would someone please second this motion?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Philip Frank Nunu has seconded the motion.
Thank you, AC. Motion seconded. Are there any questions before the motion is put to the meeting?
Mr. Chairman, there are no questions.
Thank you, AC. I now open the online platform for voting on the motion to adopt the trustees' report for the year ended 2022. That the motion has been carried. Come to my. Okay, sorry. Let's hear the votes first.
Mr. Chairman, to adopt the trustees' report for the year ended December 31, 2022, 55 people voted for the motion, 3 persons voted against the motion, and 1 person abstained from the motion.
I declare that the motion has been duly carried. Thank you, AC. It has come to my notice that some of the unit holders are asking operational questions on the platform. You should take note that responses will be given on the platform subsequently. Thank you. I hereby move that the statements of assets and liabilities accounts as of December 31st, 2022, together with the income and distribution accounts and the auditor's report for the year ended on that date and submitted to the meeting be and are hereby received and adopted. Would someone please second this motion?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Samuel Otu Pimpon seconds the motion.
Thank you, AC. Motion seconded. Are there any questions before the motion is put to the meeting?
Mr. Chairman, there are lots of questions on when the best time? When is the best time to withdraw?
QAC, the fund manager will respond to this.
So the best time to withdraw, it's when the economy has turned the corner. That is when we start seeing bond prices come up and we start seeing some liquidity on the secondary market, which will make it easier to trade those bonds and subsequently fulfill liquidity obligations. But if there is no apparent need of your request, would advise that you wait for these things to happen to the fund so you wouldn't see any loss. But if it's emergency and you need to withdraw, then unfortunately you would have to take some losses. But like it has been extensively read, we are hoping that confidence on our market would be revived again, bond prices will start performing, then we can see your returns come up. Then by all means, liquidity will be created and you can easily withdraw your funds. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. AC, are there any further questions?
Chairman, there are no further questions. However, we wish to state on record that Ms. Linda Apenu was the one who seconded the motion.
Thank you. I now open the online platform for voting on the motion to adopt the financial statement report for the year ended 2022. Is hereby closed. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, to receive and adopt the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31, 2022. 49 people voted for the motion, 4 people voted against the motion, and 3 people abstained from the motion.
I declare that the motion has been duly carried. The next item on the agenda is to fix the remuneration of the auditors, Baker, Tilly, Under and Under, in respect of the year ending December 31st, 2023. In line with best practice and as mentioned at last year's AGM, I hereby take the opportunity to move that the manager be and is hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditor for the year ending December 31st, 2023. Would someone please second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, Dasa Noela Preciosa has seconded the motion.
Thank you, AC. Motion seconded. Are there any questions before the motion is put to the meeting?
Mr. Chairman, Kofi Osei-Kusi and other unit holders are saying that going forward, can we receive these reports ahead of time to enable the unit holders peruse the documents before the meeting?
The manager would respond to that question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In response to the question, the financial report or the annual report was made available to unit holders 14 clear days before the AGM on the website, which has been stated. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. I now open the online platform for voting on the motion to fix the remuneration of the auditors for the year ended 2023.
Mr. Chairman, to authorize the manager to fix the remuneration of the auditors, 37 people voted for the motion, 18 people voted against the motion, and 6 people abstained from the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, AC. I declare that the motion has been duly carried. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Sims, manager for the Stanbic Cash Trust, I would like in the funds affairs and for attending this meeting. I hereby declare the meeting formally closed. Thank you.
I found a new job and it's doing very well. And all I'm doing is saving to build a house.
You don't save to build a house. You invest to build a house. That is why I want to take you to my financial advisors. They are thorough.
From markets and currencies to people and politics, everything today affects investment outcomes. If you cannot make the connection, you cannot make the money. We are one of Africa's and Ghana's largest fund managers. Stanbic Investment Management Services provides world-class money management services to individuals, institutional pensions, and group funds. Sign up today for the Stanbic Cash Trust or the Stanbic Income Fund and experience diversified and flexible investment solutions. Managed by your investment specialists. Stanbic Investment Management Services is licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and registered with the National Pensions Regulatory Authority. Stanbic Investment Management Services. Stanbic Bank. It can be.
I have seen it all. Disloyal men,